meeting at the Prime Minister's residence has come to an end now. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was there, as Shivani also told you. You had the External Affairs Minister in the meeting, the CDS, the NSA, the three service chiefs. So we'll track closely the big takeaways from that meeting. Also, mind you, at 2:30 is when you're going to be seeing a briefing once again by the Director Generals of the Army, the Navy and the Air Force, much like what we saw last evening. A detailed briefing which took place last evening that essentially busted all the lies that Pakistan was putting out, saying they had not faced any damages, saying that they had dented us. All of that made very, very clear. And essentially the message that came across, Shivani, from that briefing is that we managed to get our target. Operation Sindhur was about hitting the terror camps. That's exactly what we did. Any step post that was because of Pakistan's response, Pakistan's reaction. And that's our message even to this date, that Operation Sindhur is a success, but it's ongoing because we never really can trust Pakistan. And the Pakistan army, the civilian government, of course, they've never really been singing the same tune, which is why we're always ready. We can't afford to trust Pakistan for the next 1 week at least.
Akshita, if we put out that brief yesterday in three broad points, point number one was India has successfully conducted the operation and we've achieved what we aimed at, inflicting heavy damages to Pakistan in terms of its personnel. Around 40 military personnel have been killed, not only inside the line of control but in other action. Also heavy damages on the runways, the military infrastructure out there. Message number two, we never want escalation, but we are very much capable. That is a warning for Pakistan, and if it dares to look at India and it tries any kind of misadventure, we are ready on every front and will hit you very, very hard. The third very important thing was that we are always on an alert. Operation continues. We are not putting our guards down because we cannot trust Pakistan. So very important assurances that came in from the DGMOs of Army, Navy and Air Force were that we've given what Pakistan deserves. The justice has been served, but this operation is on, and the assurance for all Indians that we all are under the highest level of alert because Pakistan cannot be trusted, and any act of terror will be an act of war. We'll be seeing that the Chief of Army Staff yesterday had a very important meeting with the commanders, and he's given out those orders to go all out if you see any kind of violation of ceasefire along the line of control or the airspace on the western borders. So full power to the military commanders to retaliate and give a very, very strong response, because till now we were maintaining certain amount of restraint and our actions were measured, and now we will not do that. We will go all out. We'll give you a very big blow with very strong responses if you dare to violate the ceasefire.
That's right, and we've given Pakistan a glimpse of what we're really capable of with Operation Sindhur and the amount of damage inflicted on Pakistan. There were a lot of doubts out there about really what Operation Sindhur is all about. That was completely cleared last evening in that detailed press conference. I'll get in Piyush Mishra. He's tracking the latest updates from New Delhi, where you've been seeing that meeting at the Prime Minister's residence. It's almost become routine, Piyush, that in the last few days since the start of Operation Sindhur, we've been seeing these meetings at the Prime Minister's residence with the CDS, the three service chiefs, and considering Operation Sindhur is still ongoing, we're still seeing those huddles taking place in Delhi, perhaps to decide the next steps.
Well, absolutely, Akshita. The meeting has now come to an end. The meeting went on for around more than 1 hour, and in this meeting what we are told is that the current situation at the border areas have been discussed. I remember that in this meeting, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh was present, and Ajit Doval was there. Foreign Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar was also there, and along with them were tri-services chiefs were present. CDS was also there. So the top officials were present, and it was a high-level meeting which was going on, which looks into the security, concerns of the country. And in this meeting, certainly the discussions on the current situation on border areas have taken place. National Security Advisor, who was part of this meeting, has been briefing Prime Minister since the Pahalgam terror attack. You would remember that Prime Minister, when he had landed in Delhi after cutting short his Saudi Arabia visit, he was briefed by NSA Ajit Doval, and since then till operations also, Operation Sindhur, it was NSA Dobal who was briefing Prime Minister about each and every development. Minute-to-minute updates were being given. So we are now seeing as to how these meetings are taking place, especially in the last 4 days. The consecutive meetings are taking place. Before this interval of last 4 days, we had seen how, just before the Operation Sindhur, we saw how Prime Minister had chaired a similar meeting in which all services chiefs were present and NSA was also there. And in that meeting, Akshata, we remember how Prime Minister had given free hand to security forces, where security forces were told to decide upon the time, target and mode to take actions against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. After this, we saw also as to how 9 specific targets were targeted and all the operations were successful. But what is more unfortunate is that after we took actions against the terror camps in Pakistan, we had also approached Pakistan, briefing them about the actions which we have taken. Since then, we have seen how Pakistan has been, continuously trying to not only violate ceasefire, but also it was sending drones, missiles were being sent. We intercepted it and we took strongest possible actions against Pakistan. So during this course of interval, Akshita, we have seen Prime Minister himself personally monitoring each and every development. And today, as the situation is calm, we cannot trust Pakistan. And looking at that, we have to be prepared. And that is why Prime Minister is chairing these meetings and seeking the reports from the top officials. All defense services chiefs were present. Rajnath Singh, NSA Dobal, all of them were there. And as we are speaking, still we are seeing few officials coming out from the 7 Lok Kalyan Marg. As the meeting has ended, the ministers who were part of this and the defense services chiefs who were part of this are now leaving from Prime Minister's residence.